Hello all and welcome to the channel. Today I am bringing you my top 10 games new to me from 2023, and what a fabulous year it has been. We've got Birmingham Brass at number 1 on the Geek ratings, if that means anything to you, but for me that was a big deal. And we've got loads of fabulous games out in 2023, which is always great to see for the hobby. So let's take a look at what we have up first then. At number 10, we have a revised second edition for Shipyard, a game which came out all the way back in early 2000, finished 2009, and we have an updated version here. So if you're not familiar with Shipyard, you are building your ships, you're getting all these middle pieces, end pieces, and you're trying to get crew, you're trying to get equipment, and eventually you'll have a ship that is ready to send out on a shakedown, as it's known. And you'll be renting these canals and you're trying to get certain inspectors to look at your ship and award you points for its safety, the level of crew, the equipment, and its speed as well. Now, it's a slow burner, this game, but for me, I love the rondels, I love the competition amongst players as you're trying to time and get the right equipment and the right crew and get some of those sort of game-breaking abilities as well, like the accountant and what have you, as you watch slowly your ship build in your dock here. And you'll maybe send a couple of ships out, you've got a few contracts you're aiming to achieve at the end of the game, but the actual actions in this are really unique in the sense that you'll take one of these actions and then it kind of cycles back to the beginning, and then you have to pick a different action, and as you cycle through all these actions, this little cog is spinning around. It does a really great job of updating the original version. It was a little bit beige for most people, but a great game, and I think if you do own the previous one, have a look at this. If you're completely new to Shipyard, I'd definitely recommend getting this one. Well, you probably struggle to get the original one anyway, but loads to like here, and it's always tight finish as well. Yes, you can earn loads of points throughout the game, but those contracts can be quite powerful. So, you know, you're renting those canals, you're getting those ship pieces. The game can end through the ship pieces running out as well. And you've got also these constructions, a bit more construction in this game. You've got all the ship tiles that are nicely stacked in one of these sort of holders as such, and you've got nice dual layer boards, so lots to like on this one. I'm glad they brought a revised version back, and there's a solo option which I've yet to try. I have played this game 2 players and 3 players. Did I try 4? Can't remember. Maybe I tried it 4 players as well, but I've had a few games. It's been nice each time. Lasts about 2 hours, so it's slightly on the longer side, but yeah, just squeaked in. So at number 9 then, and I can't believe this is at number 9, it shows you the strength of 2023. So this is Distilled, an absolutely fabulous game. You are distilling these spirits, and you've got your own little player board in front of you with your unique character, and they've got a special ability. You're trying to use their ingredients to fulfill one of these spirits, and essentially you are trying to get the right ingredients. You've got these yeast, you've got water in various combinations with alcohol being added, you've got these sugars and wheats, and you're trying to make and hope that for the best when you put them in this wash bash, that when a card is taken from the top and the bottom, that you have the ingredients you need to be distilling these spirits. And when you do and you successfully achieve that, you'll get one of these bonuses, and you can pop that label at the top and you get some nice little abilities there. And equally, you'll get loads of VPs and money, and then gradually you'll be buying different equipment pieces and different things that help make your board more efficient and differentiate you from your opponents there. So lots of little things you can craft in your own area, and the game's pretty quick. You've got like 5 or 6 rounds, loads of unique spirits, loads of variability there, and I do really like the characters that really mix things up subtly for you as an individual, and all those equipment pieces you're fighting over. And it's got this lovely aging process as well. You can go and get these wood and clay barrels, and you're getting sort of flavour added to your deck from round to round, which is contributing to collecting more points. And it's over before you know, which is probably why it's slightly lower on the list for me. I just want a little bit more from this, but it does a great job for what it offers. If you're interested in that whole distilling, the Vinos type games and viticulture, I think this is well up there. I've also tried the solo option as well, which was excellent. You've got a nice little unique puzzle of competing against these barrels on the side and aiming to achieve those before you're locked out of some of them basically. I've played 2 player, and 3 player works really well. It plays up to 5. And you've also got these lovely bottles you kind of set collecting, and it just adds nice flavour to the game with just different areas you're trying to target across the globe and make these lovely little synergies. So loads to like here. At number 8, we have a stock market game, and I'm a sucker for stock market games, and this is called Whale Street. I do have an overview and a run through on the channel of this one. What a fabulous little game. It's a really nice production, and essentially you are trying to purchase shares in these very quirky companies, and when you're majority, you will make the decisions there as to what tech cards and what combinations you are competing over, because you will have some open information for everyone which decides which companies they're going to invest in, and there's closed information which only the majority shareholder can see, so they can see the true strength of that company. And that's vital, because when you decide to show your best hand, you will then determine which hands are the best, and they will get the most dividends and payouts, and everyone else is hopefully piggybacking off your success. And then you're in and out of certain companies, and you got this market with tech cards. When you decide not to take one, it impacts how the market looks, which then sways almost this trick-taking hand of how strong these companies are going to be. Really quick game, really nice design and package, and I just love the interaction. Now, it calls it like a party game as such. I wouldn't say you laugh out loud moments on the party, but in terms of a stock market game, yes, it's not as dry and methodical as most. There's a lot of things going on and movement, and you can't quite make everything go to plan as such. You have to go with the flow and just make the most you can, which I really like about this one. And it plays 3 to 6, and it says it takes up to about an hour, which is about right. A shame with the free play, but most stock market games are free play typically to get the most out of them. Our next game at number 7, which is the only game actually on the list that is not from 2023. It's from 2022, and it is Rise. What an excellent game this one is. Now, essentially you're managing and taking control of your city, essentially, and you're trying to sway this conservation versus kind of pollution and balance that to get either, loads of little perks and benefits and VPs for the end. But you've got like these 10 tracks which are determined by these variable player boards, and which sides you're going to choose are fascinating. You go for the A's or the B's, and you're kind of going up certain tracks to get little bonuses to push you up other tracks. And there's politics, there's finance and banking, there's like science and culture. And as you go up these, the benefits get better and they impact other ones. So there's just loads of little tracks to think about, icons. Symbology is great. It really makes sense after a while. And all these contribute to your, managing this city and your social responsibilities. And it just looks beautiful. And you've got this excellent sort of player interaction when you're picking the strength of your turn and your events that come out. So, you go first and you pick the card that's furthest away, and then everyone before you, they may get a bonus. And it's just very interesting, the cost structure and what the benefits you want to attain from some of these events there. So loads to like in this one. I'd highly recommend it. And it's so fun to mix and match these different boards. Some are definitely preferred over others. For example, the banking track, are you going to go on the top arrows or the bottom arrows, and which one are you committing to? So loads of things I like about this game. At number 6 then, a game which I wish it would be higher. It's got the potential to be higher, and it is Hegemony, Lead Your Class to Victory. Now this one absolutely simulates that nation, that economy. You've got the working class, middle class, you've got the capitalists, and you've got the actual state itself. But it's just so hard to get this game to the table to really enjoy, the 4-player experience. I've played 2-player, 3-player, 4-player. I want to try solo, but it's always proven a challenge trying to learn, and then probably a bit too much admin for me. But essentially, this game simulates that economy and all these different class structures as you're competing to get your things out there. So the working class are trying to commit and get certain legislation out there, whether it's tax reforms or, increases in various benefits and what have you. Capitalists are trying to make money through businesses. So the synergy between these different classes is fascinating, and there's so much educational content to be learning as you're going along. But sometimes it's just a bit too much. There's a big steep learning curve for this one, and especially trying to teach the game, and you've got, say, new players, and you're trying to explain how the working class operates. Now the actual reference sheets are fantastic, and they go through what to do, but still it's just a lot to it, and I haven't yet really had that chance to sit down and just enjoy this with players who've really, got to grips with it and experience. Because when you manage to get to 4 players with the state involved as well, it's fascinating as you can manipulate different classes and they're trying to get you on their side and favour you. So, loads to like here. I just wish it was more accommodating and less time consuming, and less of a massive table presence. Just puts people off. But yeah, still a number 6, a really solid game this. You're probably looking at 3.5 hours minimum from my players, and it's got that solo option as well, which is really nice if you can't get that opportunity to get the players to play this one. But yeah, I've not tried that solo options. I can't really comment on that one as yet. Okay, we are into the top 5, and we have Kutna, the City of Silver. Now, I was on the fence, but I am leaning more, especially considering it's number 5, towards really liking this game. We had a little setback with a mistake in one of the rules, but having played it a couple of times since with the correct rules, there is so much to like here, folks. Now, essentially, you have this blank canvas of a town that you're going to be developing, and you've got all these different types of buildings you construct, from woodcrafting to beer houses and silver, and you got this coal mining you can go and attain as well. But all these have a beautiful synergy in how they impact the pricing structure, with these kind of prices that go up and side to side, and they change up and down. And sometimes you're hindered, you can't then build until the prices, change, and that can be dependent on the population or how much coal is brought into the supply. So loads of interesting things to be thinking about. And on the first few games, the reason I was on the fence, because there was some dissatisfaction with you place a building, your income goes up, but then the actual prices tended to go down because there was more supply. But as you play the game more and start learning how to impact things, and people start just building more, and the more conscious of, the more buildings that are out there, the more this little mini economy develops, and it's kind of better for all in some respects. It can be brutal if certain things aren't built in time. Say no one is constructing wood, so the price goes up, and then it's costing everyone a lot more, but it might favour certain people in certain situations. So I definitely think this game on the higher player count is more interesting. There's a lot more going on. I've tried it 2 and 3 players, but I really want to give this one a go at 4 players. I think it could even go even higher in my estimations, but 2-3 players has been super. There's just so many little things to go and think about. You're going to go coal mining, and what levels you're going to go, and when you're going to make those opportunities count when it's cheaper. Or you're going to go and build and get those little synergies with those certain colour matches next year to get those VPs at the end. And you got those pelicans as well, just to go and get some really powerful benefits there. So loads to like here. 2 to 4 players, takes about 90 minutes to about 120 minutes there, and it's probably on that sort of medium, just touching heavy complexity. And don't be put off by how the cover looks and how it looks. It's got this dark sort of black silvery nature, which really fits the theme well, and before you know it, you're kind of headstrong into the game, and you're oblivious to that look. So yeah, loads of things to like here. At number 4 then, we have Tycoon India 1981, which not enough people are talking about. Now, at the beginning of the year, once I'd played this, I had this as potentially my number 1 game for the year, and that shows you how strong this year has been, because it's at number 4. So some of the caliber ahead of this, you're going to have to wait and see. But yes, this game, very good game, folks. You've got this map of India, of all these various locations, and you are this business tycoon trying to take charge and dominate these various industries, from like minerals and finance. And as you become more powerful, you go up these tracks to get more bonuses. But there's some very innovative things going on in this game, with the notion of you getting this favour, and you can go and spend certain favour to get more powerful actions before others. And this can be groundbreaking. You can get loads of VPs, you can go up those tracks. So you've got these various stages of auctioning for things as well, as you try and attain some of these political cards which go in front of you and give you various benefits from round to round. And you've also got these industries that are going to give you more income and generally have a lot of sort of perks on them as well to increase your presence across India. So the game has a very consistent look about it, very industrial looking, which I really like. And you've the auctioning and how that works, and if you get a bit of compensation for not having done quite so well in there. So a nice little catch-up mechanism. It all just fits really nicely, and the card text and the card art as well just really add a lot to this one. And equally, you've got this fascinating side hustle of share ownership and how you purchase shares from others and you're giving them the capital and then they're paying you those dividends from round to round, which can be a nice fruitful strategy, because at the end, whoever does have the biggest operation, the biggest industry developed, will then have the most valuable shares. And if you sort of took a punt on that individual who seemed to be doing well, you've got loads of shares, your wealth and your value, it has also increased. And that's what this comes down to, is how you best make your investments and the money and the wealth and the businesses you have and their worth at the end. So yeah, really, really like this one. So number 3 then, it's actually a game that first came out in 1994, but good luck if you could find a copy. Extortionate prices, but it's been re-implemented this year, 2023, and it is called Big Boss. What a fabulous game this one. Now it's got very similar facets to something like Acquire, similar to Shark. It's in that type of a category of you're developing your businesses on this board. You've got all these numbers that kind of snake around, and you have this fascinating deliberation over which cards in your hand to play when. Are you going to go and buy a card or buy one of these leveling up cards which are powerful, or are you going to play a card? And that is it. So if you do play a card, maybe you've started a new franchise, a new business on the board, maybe you've expanded another one and increased the share price, which pays out for you. You get whatever the new value is. It's also contributing to other people because everyone has shares in these businesses. Which shares are you going to buy? And that is wealth for the end of the game. And these companies can merge at the mercy of the cards people have. So you play a card, you merge it, and you have that decision process of which one is going to take over which, depending on if you have that choice. Because if the bigger one, that will naturally take over the smaller one, and then the share price goes up, that company's out of the game. And very similar to those who've played Acquire, but you've got the leveling up cards here, which just add a nice little function. You've got a little bit of rinse and repeat at the end, maybe, as you just sort of contribute, one piece to an organization, and then you get the full value of it back. But it just looks stunning with the production and how these components are. And I think with all the player counts as well, it's just very interesting card mechanic here. And you've also got these little masts that give you potential extra income from these, well, not income, but extra shares. I think there were 3 shares each, but it's a big investment to place those 2 out as well. So if you like Acquire and you like Shark and games like that, yes, check this one out. Top 3 for me for sure. At number 2 then, we have Ark Nova Marine World. So this is the expansion, and it's that good that it deserves to be in this list. Now, Ark Nova, the base game, is a fabulous game, but this has really elevated it for me. I thought Ark Nova was probably a 9 or a 10 anyway. This just makes it even higher. Now, I didn't realize this game actually adds a few little, but it corrects a few balancing issues in the game, which were massive, they were trivial, but it does that. It adds some cool components, these little monkeys there, little penguins, so it just makes the game even better, and including the addition of marine animals. And the way they've been introduced is great. They've really thought about it. You've got these sort of reef abilities that let your marine animals in play become stronger as you build more, so it encourages you to build more. You've got the actual enclosures themselves, which are unique shapes, and there's 2 types, a 2 and a 5, I think it is. So you're trying to fit those in. You've also got these wave abilities, so it kind of cycles through the deck a little bit quicker. And some games, yeah, you don't quite see as many as you'd like, but that's similar to Ark Nova anyway, with maybe the bears not coming out or the pet and zoo animals. But when they do come out, they're a pleasure to introduce. And as well, I'm really loving some of the abilities like the shark ability as well. And it just looks great, more and more cards added to this game is always a win. I've had a lot of fun with this one. The game naturally plays really well with solo. I've played 2-player and 3-player typically. I don't play higher than that, it just takes too long. But this, check it out if you like Ark Nova. It adds a lot of value to the game for sure. So my number 1 game for the last year, which is a big surprise even to myself, mainly because I first saw it and it looked rather garish and a lot going on, and I thought, I'm not too sure about this. But I got it, I played it a bunch, and I absolutely adore this game. It is Nucleum, folks. Now, this one, don't be put off by the green colours and all the little construction of these Nucleums and factories. There's so much to enjoy here. You've got, each player has their own different technology set, and these contribute different goals and abilities you can bolt on. You've got these urban buildings you're trying to put out and power. And the way this board functions is really unique. And you've got these mines that can go out, you've got these turbines and how they power. But you have to really be mindful of how you going to energize those urban buildings. Where are you going to get the coal from? Are you connected? Is someone else connected? How are you going to get one of those nuclear sort of stations up and running ASAP, and even fund it with, you know, the Nucleum itself on your mine? So loads of little things and intricacies you have to really be mindful of. It's a heavier game, this one. It does play solo. I've already given you my opinions on solo. I thought it was a bit too much going on, and I didn't quite enjoy my game. I was too busy thinking about the other player and what they were doing. But as a 2-player, 3-player, I really, really would recommend this one. Now, you've got these endgame goals you're trying to achieve, and they are massive and vital. You've got this fascinating, which tile am I going to play? Am I going to play as an actual sort of train route on the board, which if you get synergy between the colours, you can actually use the actions on it anyway. Or are you going to place these actions on the top of your player board and use both actions there? And that also contributes to, when you refresh, how much income you're going to get, how much victory points you get. So you've just got a lot of things to think about. And even if you take off one of these mines and then you take a turbine off, there's bonuses there. So there's just loads of little bonuses and things that develop your engine, and you're constantly looking at the board, which areas I'm going to make the most of. So it's just a delight to challenge your brain and make these optimization moves as you just really maximize and get to these energized buildings, get the little perks before your opponents there. And just the way the end game triggers as well, as you hit different targets, and you know the contracts as well, which go on the side of your board, and you're instantly getting the benefit. You don't even have to complete the contract first. I just like these little unique things here. And then when you complete the contract, great, you know, there's some upgrade in your technologies there on the side, and just loads of little perks. So lots to like in this game. And as I say, I'm really happy that this turned out well, because I was unsure. I'm really on the fence based on the look of it, but it's proven to be my #1 game for the year. And you've seen the list already, so that says a lot, folks. So yes, go and play this if you can. So there we are. What a fabulous year of gaming. I'm looking forward to 2024. There's already so many games on the horizon I'm hoping to play and already have played. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon.